Okay. I'm going to hit the record button. Can y'all see the board?
No.
Y'all can't see the board?
It's still that.
It's frozen on the
Quotient
business
All
curriculum.
right, I'm going to hit present one more time. If not, I'll have to bring you back in. Check it now. I'm sending it. Pendleton, can you see my board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. How about now, Easley?
No.
No.
All right, I'm going to take X out. X out of that, and I'm going to X out, and I'll bring you back in.
All right.
Why am I recording already? Did I hit record? I did? Okay. Let me add Easley, and then I need to check to see if anybody's Skyping in. I appreciate y'all putting up the laptops. That makes me feel a little bit better, because you shouldn't be on your laptops, because we're not doing that. I don't see anybody text. I mean, nobody texted to come in, so I guess nobody's going to Skype in. Can y'all see now easily?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, what do you notice about this problem from the get-go?
There's 2 log of 8.
Same base. So let's write down same base. So that means you need to rewrite. We've got log base 8 of x plus log base 8 of x minus 12 is equal to 2. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to highlight in your notebook, you're going to highlight these 2. Now, the other thing you're going to notice is the right side does not have a log. So therefore, you can't just do, set equal to each other because of the logs. You can't do that because this one don't have a log. You can't take the log of both sides because that would cause a cluster. So, you got to rewrite. So you go out to the right-hand side and you say rewrite, and then if you want to put those reasons, then put those reasons. But we're going to rewrite this one. And somebody, I think, is 6.3, is it not? Or, I'm sorry, when I say 6, that's 1 to 10. I think the rewrite section, this is 5.3, is it not? 6.5. No, yeah. I'm talking about in y'all's class. It's 5.3. I think 5.2 is the rewrites, where you rewrite using the quotient rule and the power and product rule. So we're going to go back to 5.3. Yeah, let's erase that. That's not okay. We're in 5.3 with y'all's. Okay, so we're going to rewrite this using the what rule? No, that's not rewrite. That's solve. We're going to rewrite using the quotient rule, the power rule, or the product rule. Which one? Okay, have we not talked about rewriting? I thought we did.
We have.
Okay. So which one is it?
Quotient rule.
No, it's product rule. Now we can use the definition of logarithm. Okay, so I guess you call this rewrite number 1. And then after you rewrite, use the definition of a logarithm. A to the y is equal to x. A to the y is equal to And now what do we have? I have a pre-algebra problem. So finish it. Do y'all not remember rewriting a plus or minus as a multiplication or division? Did we not do that?
No,
No.
we did
We
not.
have not done that.
I don't think so.
Unless I'm mixing y'all up with the one. Yeah, Go back to the first day. I gave y'all I gave y'all the exponential rules, and I gave y'all the logarithmic rules. And I told you to write them down in your notebook. Did I not do that with y'all? Hamilton, did I not do that?
No, you didn't.
I heard a mumble. I don't know if that was a yes or no.
It was a no.
Okay, well, I guess I'm sorry. I guess I'm... Okay. Hold on. Since nobody's going to say anything, I distinctly remember doing that in here. Hold on a second. I'm going to go back. We're going to find this out. Where is my library? Playlist. Math 109. Shut up. I'm just going to get through here. Solving equations, start of log. What does that say right there? Rewriting logs.
110.
And 109.
I guess bad memory.
Oh gosh, I guess I'd have to. Oh, I guess I thought y'all. Okay, y'all don't look at the videos. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. So let me go back. I can't believe we haven't went over that in here. I really can't believe that. So I'm gonna go back and Jake, you remember going over them?
No, sir.
Okay. Easily, y'all don't remember going over them.
No, sir.
Well, I apologize.
It's okay.
Yeah, screw up and Pendleton says something. Thanks, Pendleton. Did y'all see that easily? I screw up, Pendleton says something. I appreciate your forgiveness, Pendleton. One person. Okay, let me look and see. Evidently, I didn't go over them. I think it's 5.2, and I'll look right quick. And now, please look through your notes and see if I showed you these, because I thought I did. Let me pull them up. Hold up.
Sorry.
Slideshow. Use presenter. Primary. Current slide. Did I show y'all the definition of a logarithm?
Yeah.
Easily?
Yeah, you did.
Pendleton? Look through your notes. Did I show you definition of a logarithm?
Yes.
You did.
There's no way I could have showed y'all the definition of a logarithm and not showed y'all the rest of them. But maybe that was in the class. I don't know. Let me see. Okay, I showed y'all the definition of a logarithm. Of course, graphing, I'm not going to go over graphing because most of y'all can do that on the calculator. I want to get to the properties. Maybe there. Did we not go over these? Okay, my bad. Write them down. Evidently, that was the end of class, and maybe I didn't go over them the next day. Did we have a day that we were out?
That Tuesday last week.
Okay, maybe that was it. Right? Okay. Go ahead and write these down. These are the properties of logarithms. Now, these right here, the first four, those are things that you're going to need, but it's not algebraic. It's more of a, like you can't take the square root of a negative, okay? Pi is always 3.14. That's what these are. So you need to put these to memory. I'll highlight these green, or I'll just write these you need to memorize. Okay? You're going to see these four later. In fact, the problems I was going to go over today, you were going to see them. So I'll just hold off on 5.3. And y'all need to start watching these videos, especially with logarithms, because I know most of y'all are going to suck at logarithms. Because most students do suck at logarithms. So you better watch both sets of videos for the one or two people that uses the videos. All right, the bottom, I'm not too worried about the bottom, but the bottom says, well, I better, if, I'm going to write in red, if, and only, or if, same base, if you have the same base, you can set m equal to n. That's what that one says. In other words, if you have log base 4 of x is equal to log base 4 of 8, then you can say x is equal to 8. Kind of like the exponential law. The exponential law that says that is if you have 2 to the x is equal to 2 to the 4th, then x is equal to what? 4. Those are the same laws. If the base of the exponent is the same and the base of the logarithm is the same, you can set the functions equal to each other. Okay, that's what the last one says, number 5. And you cannot take the log of a negative number. Right here, b has to be above what? 0. And you never, ever have a base below, your base is always positive. Now, let me go ahead and tell you this if we don't see it on a future. And I'm going to write this in red. Log, L-O-G, capital letters, that's the button on your calculator, is equal to log base 10. If the 10 is not there, it's assumed to be 10. Because you can't calculate a logarithm of another number like 6. You have to do something else after. If you're given log 6 of 10, you've got to do something different. Now, these new calculators, they drive for you, put you to bed, eat for you. They pretty much do everything for you. That's why we got people who can't make change. So you'll see that when we get to that part. Natural log, Ln, that's equal to log base E. Now this is very important for you to remember. You're probably going to see it on another slide here in the near future. Now, this is not rewrites. Okay, this is stuff you need to know before we get started. And you need to memorize these. Question on that one. So we haven't got to the rewrites. This is just properties. the rewrites. So I'm going to color these. I'm going to put rewrites out beside this. When possible, and you want to rewrite a equation, this is how you do it. A logarithmic equation. This is called the product rule. This is called the quotient rule. And this is called the power rule. Take a minute and write those down. Those, I would put all these on an index card. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you something. Out of everything that we do, this ranks right up there. Logarithms rank right up there with shortcuts, completing the square, and logarithms. The next thing would be identities, which you don't need identities because you're going into business calculus, so you don't need the trig identities. And y'all study the logarithms and the exponents. Why? Because the logarithms and the exponents are all in the what quadrant? They're all in the first quadrant. And when you're going to be studying economics and marketing and business, you're going to be studying nothing but economics and in the first quadrant, because it's supposedly, if you're worth the flip, you're going to be what? Positives. That's why you don't see too many business people, stupid business people. Okay?
So if you're like in the fourth quadrant of business, does that mean like you're in debt to like someone else or something?
Well, think about it. If you're in any of the other three quadrants, what's in the other three quadrants?
Negatives.
And what does negative mean in business? You suck.
Yeah.
It means you're losing money. So
I think
that's why you don't see, like for instance, you like him or love him. He ain't never done anything to me. Mark Zuckerberg. Is Mark Zuckerberg a dumbass?
No. Yeah.
No, he's not. He's probably one of the smartest men in America. Okay?
That's the smartest guy.
Now, if you let jealousy and hate describe it, yeah, I hate him. He got $500,000 million. Yeah, I'm jealous of him. Then, yeah, you can hate him. But you can't say he's dumb or stupid. What about Bill Gates? You're not going to call Bill Gates a dumbass. Why? Because he spends a majority of his time in what quadrant?
First.
In the first quadrant. I asked a student one time, have you ever seen a dumb millionaire? Well, the only dumb millionaires you think about it are celebrities and athletes. Right. Now, you take the celebrities and athletes out of it. Have you ever seen a dumb millionaire? No. So, if you can keep everything in the first quadrant, you're doing good. And that's why most marketing, most economics, most business, most anything having to do with business management is always in the first quadrant, because hopefully, if you know what you're doing, you're going to stay in the first quadrant. And that's why the logarithms and the exponentials, f of x is equal to 2 to the x, and f of x is equal to the log of x, or the natural log of x, they're going to stay in the first quadrant, because you can't take the what? You can't take the log of a what? A negative number. All right, so these are rewrites. This means that whenever you see something written like this, you expand. If you go this way, you're what? Simplifying. So if you, that don't look simplified. So if you go from left to right, you're expanding. If you go from right to left, you're simplifying. Now, they're probably going to give us some examples, and I want you to write these examples down because your test is going to consist of 80%, I'm sorry, maybe, 40%. Hold on a minute. Pissing me off. There we go. Going to consist of 40% rewrites and 40% equations and 20% graph/word problems. So your Unit 3 test is going to consist of 40% rewrites. So you're talking about, what, 8 questions? 8 questions rewrite, 8 questions equations, and then 2 to 4 questions, graph the exponential, graph the logarithm, or word problems about interest and interest rates. You know, something like that, which we'll get to the 20%. I'm not worried about the 20%. I'm worried about this. That's why I'm telling you to watch them dang videos. Now, with rewrites, you do not solve. Why? Because rewrites are the same thing in your algebra days as what? Expression. You do not have a what sign. You don't have an equal sign. So the only thing you can do with a expression is either simplify or expand it. So these are rewrites. This is what a rewrite's going to look like on your test. So the first thing you notice here is a what? Plus sign. So you know product rule. So you look at the product rule and you look at it and you say, okay, well, I'm simplifying because it's already in expanded form. So I'm going to rewrite it as a simplified form. And that's going to be log base 5 of x times what? Y. And you can write it with parentheses. You can write it just side by side. You can write it with a star. I don't care. Oh, my bad. I didn't see that. Hold on. Back up. I didn't see the 3. There's a power rule in there. And I'll color it red or blue. That's power rule. Power. Okay? Power rule. So that 3's got to go out over here. There we go. So now I'm going to use the product rule, and that's going to give me log base 5 of x times y to the what? Third. There we go. Thank you for mentioning that 3. I didn't even see it. All right, you do B. Pendleton, how many of you have seen logarithms before? I can't see but one person with the sweater on over there because somebody beat on the table at the end of the table, please, or something.
I've seen them.
There we go. All right, how many of y'all have seen them before? How many of you are great at them? Okay. How about you, Easley? How many of you have seen them?
I've seen them, but it's been a while since I've done them.
I was
What about
there
y'all,
when they
Anderson?
made them.
Okay. Mostly, I'm going to tell you, most of the time people see them on a test, they skip them. They skip them because they don't know how to do them. And I'm trying to, and I guess their teacher skipped them, I guess. I don't know. I hate that I skipped them. Anyway, let's take this one. And this one, power rule. Come, I can't write power for some. Power rule, and this is what? Quotient rule. And this is power rule. So I'm going to rewrite this one with division, but first I'm going to bring my powers up. LOG base A of 1/2 of 1 to the 1/2 power. They should have another number here. They should have another number. I'm going to use, that's not right. They should have another, I'm going to use X. That should be an X right here. I don't know what they're doing, but you can't just have log of 1. I guess they're saying it's log of 1. I don't know, but there should be something right here. They must have made a typo. To the 1/2 power minus log of, okay, they got a different base. Okay, I know what they've done. They've got a typo here. This A is not supposed to be a base A. Rewrite it as a big A. I think they made a typo there because they have to be the same base in order to rewrite it, and they're not the same base, so I think they made a typo. Okay, so that's going to be A right here. We'll see when they do their explanation. That's going to be A, and then log, that's going to be B to the 5th. So that's going to be log of A to the 1/2 over what? B to the 5th. I think they made a typo there, but let's see what they did. There's that one. Log of X. They didn't do anything. What? Why'd they put B over here when? Whatever. I don't know. But anyway, there's the answer. Okay, there we go. All right, now over here. Yeah, that's not right. Because technically you can't rewrite it. See, there's the log of A. They brought it up finally. Okay, and there's your answer. So that's a typo. So A to the 1/2 over B to the 5th. Those are two good test questions. And they will get a little bit more difficult. Okay, what about this one? Rewrite each of the following expressions. So we look at this one. We know this is what rule? Quotient rule. And we know that this is power rule. Now, just because it's a natural log, that just means it's log base E. If I wanted to rewrite this, I could rewrite it as log base E of 7x minus 2 log base E of z. I could write it like that, and if you wrote it like that, I could not mark it wrong on a test. I do that sometimes when I'm solving equations with logarithms. I will rewrite natural log as the log base E because that's just the way I do it. So that's going to come up, and we're going to use the quotient rule. So that's going to be log base E of 7x divided by z to the what? Second power.
2.
So you could write a log base e as a natural log, or you could leave it log base e. Now you might have some SA, you may have some SA instructor go like this. Oh, you may have an SA that does this, but they can't mark it what? Wrong. And if they do mark it wrong, the only reason they'll mark it wrong is because it only takes 2 strokes of a pen to do natural log, and it takes 4 strokes of a pen to do log base E. And Dr. Ruckel used to say, however many times your pencil hits the paper, that's what simplification is. He's the one who played Tetris all the time. He was 107. Okay? He taught at Clemson for 100 years, and he was 107 years old. I think he worked at NASA the first 7 years of his life. That's one thing about it. Those guys up there, if you're, because I will tell you, I'm not one of those people. Okay, I'm more of a down-to-earth math person. But those guys up there, they've been doing math since they were in the womb, pretty much. So I
You're
think
very
that's all
modest.
section. Huh?
And you're modest too.
No, I'm not. I don't even know what modest means. So anyway, that's that. So that's all they showed you with the rewrites. So I'm going to go back, and we're going to go back to 10 point, or Math 110, because the Math 109 book sucks. So we're going to go back to Math 110, and I'm just going to pick one of these. Let's just pick, hold on a second. Oh, Lord. Math 110, I think theirs is 6.3, I believe. I believe it is. Assignments, 6.3. I hope.
We're on number 12.
Well, I'm not, no, that's another one. I'm doing rewrites now. There's one. Now, there's a rule in mathematics. There's not a rule, this is a Hubertism rule, but the Hubertism rule is calculus and radicals do not what? Mix. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but whenever you see a radical from here on out, you need to think of it as a rational what? Exponent. So the first thing you need to do with this problem is you need to rewrite it as a radical exponent. I mean a rational exponent. Log base m of the square root of 2r to the 5th over z to the 3rd. Now I want you, the first step is I want you to rewrite that with a rational exponent. Remember, rational exponent is exponent over index. So your exponent on this problem right here is what? 1. Your index is what? 2. So that's going to give us a rational exponent of 1/2. Log base m of 2r to the 5th over z to the 3rd raised to the 1/2 power. So from here on out, whenever you see a radical, chances are you better change it to a rational exponent.
That's right.
Now what? Now, with exponentials, with exponential laws, you can do different ways. What is a logarithm? A logarithm is a glorified exponent. So a logarithm, can you do it different ways? Yes. I could do the power rule and bring the 1/2 out front. I could take the power rule of exponents and say 2 to the 1/2 r to the 5/2 times z to the 3/2, and then I could rewrite it. I could flip it and make it z to the third over 2r to the fifth to the negative 1/2, then bring the negative out. There's 3 or 4 different ways I could do it. Does it matter? No, because you will get the same answer. So, I'm going to bring the 1/2 out front. Using the power rule, I'm going to bring the 1/2 out front. And that's going to give me 1/2 brackets log base m of 2r to the fifth over z to the third. Now what?
Nice.
What does the division symbol mean?
Close.
Quotient rule. So now I'm going to use the quotient rule. And I'm going to get 1/2 brackets log base m of 2r to the fifth minus log base m of z to the what? Third. Are we finished? No.
No.
What else can we do?
Put the 2 and 5 over.
Well, wait a
Yeah, you
minute.
got
2 and the r to the fifth. What can we do? What is that? That's multiplication, isn't it?
Yeah, power.
Not power, but the
Product.
product. So 1/2. So I'm going to put product rule right here. Product rule. And I'm going to make it 1/2 brackets log base m of 2 plus log base m of r to the fifth minus log base m of z to the third. Now what?
Now you put the 3 over.
Give me the rule. What's the rule where you bring the 3 and the 5 and the 2 out front? Power
Well,
rule.
it's like,
What?
I said it's going to be like it's where you put them in the parentheses and the powers go like right by each other.
Yes? That's the power rule. Y'all got to know the rules by name. You can't go into a calculus course or whatever or wherever you're going to a research university and go, that's where you take that daggum power and you move it out there and dang on front. No, you can't do that. All right? Now, I'm all in favor for being a layman, okay? And I don't hold my pinky up when I'm talking. But if you go to a research university and you say, dang on, take that dang old exponent and put it out front, they're going to look at you like something's wrong with you, okay? So don't do that. Okay? You're going to use the power rule, you're going to use the product rule, you're going to use the quotient rule. Capiche? I'm trying to tell you how to not look ignorant.
Alright.
And you know, you're in South Carolina, so you have to fight that. Because we're 2 things in South Carolina. We're racist and we're ignorant. Okay? The rest of the country, we're just a bunch of dummies. Okay? So you got to fight that wherever you go. So you got to learn not to be ignorant. All right. I'm kidding. That's supposed to be funny. Okay. Some of y'all snowflakes. So bring that 2 out.
Sorry.
Oh, and we're deplorable too. Don't forget we're deplorable. 5. Y'all have to look that one up. 3 goes out.
What do you say?
Deplorable.
Deplorable. You didn't know
What
we
is
were
that?
deplorable?
That's the first time I heard that word.
I'm getting deployed by the military?
No, deplorable as in like hated or something.
He just said.
Is he looking at me like an idiot?
You got him at a loss for words.
Not really. That word has been famous for the last 3 years, and y'all have never heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard of deplorable.
Deserving strong condemnation.
That's what the media and Hillary Clinton called people that voted for Trump. They called them racist, deplorable, ignorant. I'm not believing y'all hadn't heard that in the news. Good God, our country's screwed up. Anyway, so that's going to be, I'm going to go to the top up here. And come election time, y'all will do whatever the media tells y'all to do. Who do I vote for? Oh, I'll watch CNN, and they'll tell me who to vote for. Yeah, I bet they will. Okay, so 1/2, that's going to be 1/2 brackets. That's going to be 2 log base m. Wait a minute, that's not a 2. Okay, that's just, okay, I thought that was an exponent. Log base m of 2, and then 5 plus 5 log base m of r minus 3 log base m of what? Z? Now what? Well, you could distribute the 1/2, but I don't think they want you to, and you have a multiple choice. So somebody tell me which one it is, because I don't want to look at it. Which one is it?
Third one.
And we check it so we can see if we're smart and we feel good about ourselves. That is one of my test questions. Okay? So let's do a nerd. All right, try that one.
Oh shit, dude, what'd you do?
What are you talking about? This one says log base d of x plus log base d of y minus log base d of u. So that should be pretty simple. Lay off the Marlboro Reds, that thing will kill you.
I think it's the second.
What's wrong with y'all, Pendleton? Y'all actually interacting and laughing today. What's wrong with y'all? Are y'all drunk or what?
I wish.
Hey, we got one alcoholic at Pendleton.
Easily.
Oh, was that easily? I'm sorry. Yeah, Pendleton don't say nothing. I forgot.
Well, this ain't water in my water bottle.
Okay. Well, we know you're an alcoholic. I mean, you have a
It's
bullet.
fade.
So only an alcoholic will wear a
Coke
bullet.
can doesn't have.
Hey, that's true.
That Coke bottle doesn't have Coke in there.
You need to get that thing refreshed so you can look like one of them wrestlers. All right.
Yeah. I gotta go get it cut tomorrow. I'm gonna be in a
They're
web.
coming to the. I think they're coming to Skyward, aren't they?
Shield 5 guard.
In Greenville. Where are you from? I'm from Greenville, South Carolina. Where in the hell is Greenville? I'm from Powdersville. I'm from Pelton. Yeah, Honeyappat. I'm from Honeyappat. Good
What's the
God,
right way to say
trans-
Pickens?
I love these tramp. I actually, people from Pickens can actually make 3 syllables out of Pickens.
Oh.
They can. They go Pickens. They put a second syllable in the ENS. Now, those folks in Pendleton, where are y'all from? Because some of y'all bridge students. They're
Greenville.
scared to say where they're from because they're scared they might pronounce it wrong.
Fort Mill.
Where?
No.
Fort Mill.
Well, that's kind of hard to screw up because most people, that's 2 syllables. So we're talking about with those, you know the places that you live around that the transplants come in and say it like it's written, and you're like, what? And you're like raised on the way it's said versus the way it's written. So, okay, Barnwell. I'm from Barnwell, South Carolina. Where in the hell is Barnwell? I know where Barnwell is. Okay, they're not going to pursue it. So forget it.
Charles.
Thought somebody would at least say something, but they're not.
Charleston.
Yeah,
Charleston.
Charleston. I'm from Charleston. Anybody from Charleston knows that Charleston doesn't have an R in it. Okay? I'm from Charleston. I'm from Charleston.
Bumbling.
Okay, forget it. I appreciate these. I appreciate you trying. X times Y over what?
Love you, man.
There you go. So which one is that one?
B.
Which one?
B.
B. I guarantee y'all one thing. There's going to be some of them in here that ain't going to have me next semester. And you know what? They're going to be homesick. You wait and see what I tell you. Because they're going to have the choice of two people. And it's going to be fun when y'all are in there.
Who is the other guy? Or woman?
I ain't going to say. But you just wait. You wait till y'all are in there. Y'all going to be like... All right. So y'all good?
Yep.
All right, let's do a nerd. I'm gonna have to find some problems for y'all because I'm gonna give y'all more. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but just I might have to make up another homework and call it the rewrite homework and I'm solving equations. I might make up two more homeworks for y'all because the ones y'all got ain't enough.
You add more work to us.
That's some bullshit.
Doesn't have to do an all-nighter.
I can't hear whining. Do y'all understand whining? I don't understand it. Maybe I need to take another class. 2 log of C Z plus 4 plus log of C 3Z plus 5. All right, Jake, we're going to let you explain this one.
Me?
Yeah, one
I don't
of
get paid for that.
them, I'll tell you this. One of them, if you show up late, they'll lock the door and won't let you in class.
Why do colleges count absences now? I thought that was like...
Because we're supposed to make sure you're here. We're supposed to take you to the bathroom. We're supposed to take you to the water fountain. We're supposed to make sure that you leave with all your books and and make sure that you get on the bus when you leave. And we're supposed to do everything for you.
That don't make any sense.
Told you about them Marlboros.
Be Jerry Riggs.
Do you enjoy teaching college, though?
When I come to class and I dread class, that's when I'm gonna retire.
I got you.
If I have many more Pendleton classes, I'm gonna retire next year. Because I can't stand non-interactive classes. So I appreciate the Anderson and the one or two Pendleton students. I do appreciate you actually trying. And, getting beat up when you go out in the hallway. I appreciate that.
Are we like the only Pendleton class that doesn't talk?
Yes.
Really?
You're the only class. The trig class talks all the time.
Yeah, that's what my buddy says. He says you talk about us to him.
Yeah, y'all will not talk. I don't know why. The other classes talk. Y'all don't. I have a 9 o'clock in the morning that talks more than y'all do.
Should I go over there to the Pendleton campus one day?
No, I think they might. They probably. They might hurt you.
Wow. It's just
because you interact, Jake. That's why.
You're gonna try to beat you up.
That's true.
All right,
I've got to do it now just to piss her off.
Okay, you don't even know who said it.
No, but I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to sit right beside her. I'm going to make sure I don't shower the night before. Smell all wrong. Oh, yeah.
I want to see it.
Remember, you're from Pickens, so you got to watch it, Jake. All right, what do we got to do with this 2? Bring it out.
Power. Bring it over.
And then that's going to be log base C of Z plus 4 to the second power plus log base C of 3Z plus 5. And then that's going to be log base C of z plus 4 to the second power over 3z plus 5. Could you go one more step?
Yes.
You could do shortcut number 1 on top, but there's no use in it because you're going to get a trinomial on top and a binomial on the bottom, and nothing's going to cancel. So I would just leave it like this. So which one is that one?
D.
Okay. Now, let's go. I was really wanting to get a real good one like
Wait,
that.
why is
radical?
Wait, what?
What?
Oh. Your equation has a division, and then you just chose the one that was multiplication.
No, I didn't.
Look at your answer. It's in division.
Oh, I should have done division. I'm sorry. My bad.
But it says
Somebody
right.
help me out. There we go.
Look, you're,
I don't
But it
know
says
where
it's
I got division. This is where everybody's supposed to go. Yeah, I wonder what you did wrong. Everybody say it. 1, 2,
Yeah, I wonder
3.
what you did wrong.
There you
wonder
go.
what you did wrong.
You're supposed to say it after I do it, okay? Squared and 3z plus 5. There you go. Thank you. I did it. I wrote the last part wrong. I'm sorry. All right. Now let's move on to another one, and then I want to move back into solving equations. Which one's that one? That one's that one. Well, evidently there's not a lot of, no, that's just, so I guess this one is the last one. There we go. Try that one.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, this is one that you'll probably won't do on a test.
Yeah, I'll probably just give up.
There you go. But that's okay. Y'all don't have to, whoa.
Oh, what the?
I thought you did that intentionally
There
for
we
a
go.
second.
No, there you go. I don't know what I hit. But like I say, those that don't have me in 130 next semester, you're going to be enjoying who you don't have. I mean, you're going to be enjoying who you have because they talk about math from 9 o'clock in 1 second to 11 o'clock and 0.1 seconds. In other words, they do not take a break. They do not. They just go right through, monotoned, and you're going to enjoy it. So
I'm taking 120.
you're taking 120?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm teaching it here. I'm not teaching a polycom. I don't know who you're going to have for 120.
Yeah, it's just.
But I know who
straight
teaches the business calculus, and I know who teaches calculus, and you're going to have so much fun in there with the locked door at 8 o'clock or whatever time your class is. You better get there because they lock the door, or they might have been told not to do that. I don't know if they still do it. We used to have one that if you wrote on the test, he'd give you a 0 for the test.
That's pretty hardcore right there.
So some of y'all are going to enjoy it. Make sure you go to Rate My Professor before you make your final decision.
Oh, I done made one for you.
Okay, I appreciate it. Be quiet.
This is
All
loud.
right, so here we go.
He calls out his students.
Log base 8 of 2m squared raised to the negative 2/3 power. Oh my gosh, we might as well quit after we do this. Plus log base 8 of 4m squared to the 1/2 power. I feel like we've done this one. Okay, I'm going to let y'all work the next couple of steps just so we can bog you down and you don't know what's left or right or up or down. Get you in that, that I'm going to quit this problem stage. Did you actually go to the computer? You went to Google and printed those out?
Yeah.
Wow. What made you do that?
It's difficult.
Oh my. Now what you're supposed to do is not do that. How would you want to raise the bar? Bernie will take care of you.
Just like the before.
Bernie, yeah, you will be assimilated. They ain't gonna let Bernie win. How much you want to bet? I bet you $100 bill they're gonna sabotage Bernie somehow, just like they did with Hillary. Super delegates. They poor old Bernie ain't got a chance.
I'm related.
That's my great uncle.
Is
They'll
it?
keep talking bad about him.
Well, let Bernie take control, and we'll be like Venezuela in 8 years, probably less. They ain't gonna eat your dog. You be worried about your dog. Heck, you're gonna eat your dog. I guarantee you somebody has no earthly idea what I'm talking about. Now, do I need to distribute the negative 2/3, or I'm going to flip that first one? Why am I going to flip that first one? Because I don't like no negative exponent. So I'm going to log base 8 of 1 over 2m squared to the 2/3. Do you have to do that? No. You could go ahead and distribute that negative, and that's fine. You'll get the same answer. Log base 8 of 4m squared. Okay, so that's one thing you can do. Now you can distribute that 2/3 and distribute that 1/2. Somebody tell me what the most common mistake with that exponential power rule, what's the most common mistake? Articulate and volume, so nobody goes to sleep like Pendleton, right?
Right.
Like the girl beside you, make sure she's not asleep.
And
Wake up. Wake up,
I'm
sunshine.
up.
You're just resting your eyes.
Yeah.
If you fall asleep in my class, that means something. That means that you have had a rough night or you didn't get any sleep.
She probably had to pull an
Yeah.
all-nighter because your homework.
Oh, yeah.
I did.
Yeah, it's my fault. Oh, God, thanks, Jake.
Got her back.
Log base 8 of 1 to the 2/3 over 2 to the 2/3. That is the mistake people make. They forget to distribute the 2/3 with the 2. M to the 4/3. Plus log base 8 of 4 to the 1/2 m to the 2/2. All right, finish it out, because now all you have to do is simplify. Remember, a rational exponent is exponent over index.
Doesn't the
Exponent
answer have to be B?
over index.
You
I'm
said-
sorry, the teacher was talking. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Sorry, a light bulb just went off and I had to say it.
Okay. Now, I'll do the 1 for you, because no matter what you take the square root of or raise 1, what do you get? 1. So I'll do that one for you. That's 1. So I'm going to take my blue marker and I'm going to change that to 1, because that's 1. So exponent, that means 2 to the 2nd power, exponent over index. So that's going to be cube root of 2 to the 2nd power is 4. And this right here is going to be 4 to the 1/2. That's the square root of 4 right there, which is 2. So let me make this a little bit smaller. I don't know if I can or not. Yep. Root. Okay, so I'm going to make this smaller, and I'm going to get log base 8 of 1 over the cube root of 4, the cube root of m to the what? m to the fourth plus log base 8 of square root of 4 is 2, and m to the first is m. We have what here? We have plus, so that means I can rewrite it as a what? Multiplication, log base 8 of 2m over the cube root of 4 and the cube root of m to the fourth. Now I can actually cancel some of this, and I could change it back. This would be 2 to the 3/3, and this would be 2 to the 1/3, or 4, let's see, 2, I'd have to go through and change that to 2, so that'd be 2 to the 2/3, which I had up here. Yeah, 2 to the 2/3, so let me change that back to 2 to the 2/3, because I need the same, so 2 to the 2/3, and that's, I shouldn't have changed them to a radical that soon. M to the what, 4/3? Was it 4/3? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? M to the exponent over index, yeah, 4/3. So that's M to the 4/3, so that would be 3/3. So now that's going to give us log base 8 of, what is 3/3 minus 2/3?
Third.
2 to the 1/3. And what is m to the 3/3 over m to the 4/3, or minus m to the 4/3? That's going to be on the bottom of m to the what? M to the 1/3, and that's going to give us log base 8 of the cube root of 2 over m. And somebody tell me what that is.
D.
D is in delta.
Yeah, delta.
That's a good test question. So there's 4 or 5 test questions. How many do we do? 4 or 5?
Yeah.
All right, now, let me go back, and I know some of y'all are going to start convulsing soon, but we're going to go back and let you look at oh my Lord, there. And let me go to Math 110, let me go to I got 5 minutes, so please don't be rude. Okay, 6.5. Now, I'm going to pull up one of these problems. Get rid of this. I'm trying to get... Lord have mercy. Okay, now, this problem right here looks like almost the one we started with. Everything is to the same base. Everything is to the same base, so I can rewrite the left side as what? Log base 7 of what?
8x.
8x divided by what?
X plus 4.
Is equal to log base 7 of x. And when you have the same exponent, when you have the same bases and the same log, what can you do?
Cross them out.
Cross them out and set the x's equal to each other. So 8x over x plus 4 is equal to x. Now how do you get rid of a fraction? Multiply both sides by the what? Common denominator. So, and this problem is exactly like your calculus problems. 10% new stuff, 90% algebra. Here's your 10%, logarithm right here. And then the rest is nothing but algebra. It's the way calculus is. Multiply by x plus 4. Multiply by x plus 4. And that's going to give me 8 is equal to x times what? All right, finish that problem. And I want to finish it because there's something I need to show you before we quit. You got 2 minutes. Finish it.
X equals 6.
Well, I don't want you to finish it now. I want everybody to finish it. Okay?
I have that answer now.
Unless y'all probably just, okay, I'll go ahead and do it then. X squared plus 4x is equal to 8. And then you can use the quadratic formula, or you can use complete and square. X squared plus 4x plus blank is equal to 8 plus blank. Half of 4 is what? 2 squared is 4. So that's going to be x plus 2, quantity squared, is equal to 12. And take the square root of both sides, so the square root of x plus 2 is x plus 2. And the square root of 12, I don't know what that is, that's going to be 2 times the square root of 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
Equals 2 square root of 3 minus 2 minus 2. So I don't know what you got, but it's not what you said it was. 2 square root of 3 minus 2. What?
I was kind of thinking about something else, like when I said it.
Well, I might be wrong, but that's what I got.
Isn't it plus or minus 2 square root of 3
it'd
minus
be plus or minus 2 minus 2. Plus or minus 2 square root of 3. Now, what I'm wanting to show you is you're going to have a positive and a negative number. Everybody, I'm going to write this in blue. You're going to come out with a positive or a negative number. You got to watch the negative, because sometimes the negative will make this 8 a negative, and what will it do? The problem will explode. So you can't, some of the times, you can't use a negative. Now what do I mean by some of the times? Well, what's negative 1 plus 4?
3.
3. So there you can use it, but since you can't use it here, it blows the whole problem up. But if you had if you just had this, and then you had x plus 2 here, could you use it in that? Yes. But since it's not that way, if you have a negative on this, which you do, you're only going to use the positive. So whatever the positive is of this, 2 times 1.7 is 3.4. 3.4 minus 2 is 1.4, I guess. So that's going to be 1.4 instead of a negative 1.4, or whatever the case may be. All right, now I'm going to open up 2 homeworks. It'll probably be tonight. And I'm going to open them up for you to work on for next Tuesday. I want to make sure everybody can do rewriting and equations before I worry about anything else for this unit. Does everybody understand that?
Yep.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
probably 10 problems of both. Y'all get out of here and have a good weekend.
Hey, go Tigers.
Yeah, buddy. Who they play this weekend, Hannah?